Listen closely, because what I'm about to say will hit harder than anything you felt scrolling through your comfortable life. You think you know why you feel empty, why mornings drain you before they even start, why life seems heavy, why nothing excites you anymore. You think it's random, that it's some kind of modern disease you were born with, that somehow the system failed you by accident? No. Listen, the emptiness you feel is by design, not by some cruel universe or unfair luck. You feel dead inside because your instincts have been betrayed. Every single one of them. The drive, the hunger, the fire that once made men relentless, that energy that made them dangerous, it's been stripped away piece by piece, smothered under convenience, comfort, and lies. You wake up, roll over, grab your phone, scroll through lives of men you don't even know, watching victories you will never taste because you have been programmed to be a spectator. And you scroll. You scroll and you wonder why your soul feels numb. You've been trained to watch instead of do. You've been told to fit in, be safe, play nice, avoid confrontation, and seek approval at all costs. You've been told that happiness comes from comfort, that security comes from rules, that peace comes from avoidance. That mindset, that slow, suffocating acceptance of mediocrity, that's what's killing you. That's why modern men feel dead inside. Because the warrior inside, the part of you designed to dominate, to conquer, to be unstoppable, is trapped under years of softening. And the first step to killing that death is admitting it. Admit that you are soft. Admit that you are lazy. Admit that you have been hiding from yourself. Admit that you have been hiding from yourself. Admit that you wake up and drift through your day pretending that existence is enough, pretending that surviving is winning. And while you convince yourself you are safe, the world is moving. Others are conquering. And time, the one thing you can never get back, is slipping. Every second that passes, your potential, your unclaimed power, your destiny, all of it decays a little more. You are not broken because of circumstance. You are broken because you let yourself be broken. You allowed distraction to steal your focus. You allowed entertainment to replace purpose. You allowed comfort to replace growth. And while you scroll TikTok, watch reels, watch the highlights of other men's lives, your own life, your real life, the one that could be extraordinary, rots in slow motion. You want to blame the world, blame the system, blame your parents, blame your teachers, blame your friends, blame your teachers, blame your friends, blame the economy. That's the path most men take, and it's why most men stay soft, stay invisible, stay dead inside. But it doesn't have to be that way. There is a version of you that hasn't been killed yet. A part of you that remembers how it feels to want more, to burn with purpose, to move with power, to dominate, to be respected, to be feared, to be unstoppable. That part of you is not gone. It's waiting. Buried, yes. Buried under excuses, under indulgence, under distraction, under mediocrity, under the lie you've been telling yourself that surviving is enough. That part of you is angry because it knows you are capable of more. And it knows that every time you scroll instead of act, every time you sleep instead of train, every time you make another excuse, you betray it. And that betrayal creates a hollowness so deep, so raw, that you feel like death has already started even though you are still breathing. You're alive, but you feel dead because you gored the fire inside you for too long. And that's the tragedy. That's the reason you hate Mondays, why weekends are your religion, why holidays feel like salvation, why you dread the quiet moments, why nothing thrills you anymore. You're not living, you're surviving, and survival in the modern world is poison for a man. Survival without purpose is slowly eroding you. It's stealing your aggression, your clarity, your edge, your ability to conquer. And what's worse, you have been convinced that this is normal. That feeling hollow is just part of growing up. That feeling empty is what life is supposed to be. That feeling numb is a sign that you've reached adulthood. That's a lie. A giant lie that keeps men soft, obedient, and easily controlled. You were born for battle, for risk, for pressure, for domination. Not for scrolling, not for waiting, not for comfort, not for mediocrity. You were born to fight, to win, to leave a mark so strong that the world remembers your name long after you're gone. But instead, you are frozen by your fear, by your distractions, by your illusions of safety. And the first step to breaking out of it is understanding that comfort is the enemy. Comfort is not peace. Comfort is a trap. It is the modern cage that makes you soft, hollow, weak, and yes, dead inside. And what are you comforted with? Screens, entertainment, instant gratification, air conditioning, soft beds, endless options to waste your time. You call it life. You call it freedom. You call it safe. But it's a prison, and the locks are invisible. Every day you wake up, you brush your teeth, you scroll, you eat, you go to work, you scroll again, you sleep, and the cycle repeats. That is not life. That is slow death. And the men you admire, the ones you envy, the ones you see winning, they are not lucky. They did not stumble into their success. They bled while no one watched. They trained while you scrolled. They acted while you hesitated. They embraced pain while you avoided it. And now you look at them and call it unfair. Unfair? No. They played the game. You didn't. You wanted safety. You wanted comfort. You wanted the easy road. And now you wonder why your soul is empty. You can change it. Not eventually. Not someday. Not next week. You can change it now. But you have to want it. And I don't mean half want it. I don't mean some vague desire while still scrolling through life like a spectator. I mean rage want it. Hunger want it. Fire want it. You have to wake up tomorrow like your life is on the line, because it is. Every second you waste is a betrayal of the man you could become. You are capable of more than you are giving. You are stronger than you believe. You are faster, sharper, smarter than the version of you that watches others succeed while you wait. But it doesn't matter if you know it. The question is, will you act on it? Will you rise? Will you grab life by the throat and remind it who you are? Will you embrace pain, responsibility, discipline, and pressure as the tools of your freedom instead of fearing them as punishment? Because that is the truth. Discipline is not your enemy. Pain is not your enemy. Risk is not your enemy. Risk is not your enemy. Risk is not your enemy. They are the fire that forges men. They are the reason men feel alive. And when you've been living soft, when you've been hiding under comfort, you have been missing that fire. You've been listening to adrenaline of risk, the satisfaction of conquest, the power of being unstoppable, the pride of achieving what others said you couldn't. And that's why you feel dead. Not because you're weak, not because life is unfair, but because you are sleeping. Sleeping with potential buried under excuses. Sleeping while the warrior inside screams to rise. You've been trained to avoid discomfort, to seek safety, to blend in, to obey, to wait for permission. That training is killing you. And you are smarter than you think. You feel it, that subtle, gnawing dissatisfaction, that frustration that you cannot ignore no matter how much video, movie, or feed you consume. That's the truth, trying to wake you up. That's your soul screaming, you were meant for more. And it's right. You were meant for more. And it's right. You were meant for more. And until you start acting like it, you will never feel alive. You will never feel the pulse of life racing through your veins. You will never experience the ecstasy of challenge, the thrill of risk, the pride of dominance. You will only exist, zombie-like, scrolling through the victories of men you pretend to envy, never realizing that envy alone accomplishes nothing. But there is hope. That hope lies within. The man who bled when no one watched is also inside you. The man who trains in silence. The man who conquers without applause. That man exists in your chest right now. And he is angry. He is hungry. He is restless. And he is waiting. Waiting for you to finally stop betraying him. Waiting for you to finally stop distracting yourself with comfort and entertainment. Waiting for you to finally rise and seize what's yours. You have been asleep for too long. The fire is not gone. The warrior is not dead. The emptiness you feel is the echo of a soul denied its destiny. And if you continue like this, if you continue scrolling, if you continue compromising, if you continue hiding from life, that echo will only grow louder. You will look back in 10 years and see the version of you that could have been staring at you disappointed, furious, asking, "Why did you ignore me? Why did you waste me?" That is the cost of comfort. That is the price of avoiding risk. That is the toll of mediocrity. And you don't want to pay it. You don't want to live with regret. You don't want to die with fire unspent, talent unused, power unclaimed. So here's the truth. Nobody tells you. The world doesn't care if you feel dead. The world doesn't care if you're sad. The world doesn't care if you're bored, lonely, frustrated, tired, distracted, confused. The world moves. The world conquers. The world rises. And it will crush anyone who stays stagnant. That's reality. cold, brutal, and undeniable. But the same reality also gives you a choice. Every second, every moment, you can choose to rise, to act, to unleash the warrior trapped inside, to embrace pain, discipline, pressure, responsibility, and conquest, to stop existing and start living, to stop surviving and start dominating, to stop following and start leading, to stop being soft and start being unbreakable. And it begins now, not later, not tomorrow, not after one more scroll, now, because the fire dies fast in the hearts of the lazy, but roars eternally in the souls of the decisive. This is the law. Movement creates confidence, action breeds power, discipline builds freedom, pain sharpens strength, risk cultivates dominance. And you have been starving your soul of all four. But it's not too late. It's never too late. You are not beyond saving. You are not beyond rising. You are not beyond rising. You are not beyond conquering. You are not dead. You are dormant. You are waiting, and the man inside is ready to erupt. Are you ready to unleash him? Are you ready to bleed, to sweat, to push, to act, to conquer, to dominate, to be remembered? Or will you scroll one more hour, one more day, one more year until your fire fades completely? That decision is yours right now, and you feel it, that gnawing, restless, uncomfortable urge. That's the man inside screaming to rise. That's the hunger you have been ignoring. That's the pulse of life you have denied. And the moment you finally decide, the moment you finally act, the moment you finally rise, everything changes. Not because it's easy, not because it's safe, not because it's safe, not because it's convenient, but because you finally chose reality over comfort, because you finally chose fire over numbness, because you finally chose your destiny over excuses. And let me tell you this, nobody will stop you. Nobody can stop you once you commit fully. The universe bends for the man who moves, not the weak, not the soft, not the lazy, not the distracted. Only the man who moves, who bleeds, who trains, who conquers, who rises relentlessly, who dominates. And the man you could become is watching, waiting, hungry, anger burning through every fiber. And he will not forgive you if you continue to scroll. He will not forgive you if you continue to compromise. He will not forgive you if you continue to exist half alive. He demands your attention, your sweat, your sacrifice, your discipline, your hunger, your action. And it is sacred, it is raw, it is beautiful, it is terrifying. And when you finally answer him, when you finally embrace him, when you finally rise with blood in your eyes and fire in your heart, that is when you will feel alive. That is when modern men stop being dead inside. That is when you reclaim your soul. That is when you finally become the man you were born to be. The man who does not wait. The man who does not hesitate. The man who dominates. Now listen carefully, because the second you decide to act, the battlefield begins. Life doesn't reward the passive. Life punishes hesitation. Every second you wait is a second someone else uses to build, to conquer, to dominate. Every minute you spend scrolling through other men's victories, scrolling through distractions, scrolling through content designed to numb your fire, is the minute you surrender to weakness. And that's the thing about modern men. They've been taught to surrender, not all at once, not violently, but gradually, softly, subtly, one distraction at a time, one comfort at a time, one comfort at a time, one compromise at a time, until the warrior inside feels like a ghost. And that's why you feel dead inside. Because you've been living a life that wasn't yours to live. Because the world has trained you to be a spectator, to wait, to obey, to hide, to compromise. And while you wait, life passes. The opportunities you could seize vanish. The experiences you could dominate fade into memories you never create. You are capable of greatness, but capability means nothing without execution. Knowledge without action is useless. Talent without discipline is wasted potential. And the modern man has been starved of execution. Starved of discipline, starved of discipline, starved of the crucible that builds warriors. That is why he feels hollow. That is why he hates himself. That is why even when he has the world at his feet, he feels nothing. He's been softened until the edge that should make him dangerous is gone. And the first thing you need to understand is this: comfort kills, convenience kills, entertainment kills, safety kills, the desire to be liked kills, the desire to be liked kills. The desire to fit in kills, and most importantly, avoiding pressure kills. The modern man runs from pressure like it's a disease, but pressure is the only thing that makes a man alive. Pressure awakens potential. Pressure sharpens skill. Pressure reveals character. And until you seek it, until you embrace it, until you live for it, you will never feel alive. You will never feel the thrill of existence. You will never experience power. You will never feel the satisfaction of dominating your circumstances instead of being dominated by them. You've been taught that survival is the goal, that stability is safety, that comfort is peace. All lies. Survival without purpose is slavery. Stability without challenge is stagnation. Comfort without struggle is death. And the modern man is dying, right now in slow motion, while he pretends to live. You wake up tired because you aren't fighting. You feel hollow because you aren't conquering. You scroll because you aren't building. You complain because you are taking ownership. And every time you settle, every time you compromise, every time you wait, every time you choose convenience over challenge, your soul screams and you feel dead inside. That's your first clue that the warrior is still alive. That's your first sign that the man you could be has not been destroyed, only ignored, and he's angry, and he's hungry, and he's waiting for you to finally stop betraying him. And here's the brutal truth. Nobody else will save you. Nobody else will save you. Nobody else is coming. There's no magic mentor, no perfect moment, no shortcut. The world doesn't pause for your excuses. No woman, no friend, no government, no system. Nobody is coming to fix your life. You are the architect of your destiny. You are the architect of your destiny. You are the warrior. You are the one who must rise. And the good news is that means you also have all the power. All of it. You don't need permission. You don't need approval. You don't need validation. You don't need a system to hand you opportunity. You need you, your discipline, your aggression, your hunger, your willingness to bleed while others sleep. Your commitment to train, to work, to act, to dominate every day. That is the law. That is the only law you need. And once you embrace it, once you commit fully, nothing can stop you. Because the man who acts while others hesitate is unstoppable. The man who rises while others scroll is untouchable. The man who embraces pain, pressure, struggle, and risk as allies, not enemies, becomes a force the world has no choice but to respect. And that force is inside you. That power is inside you. That fire is inside you. That fire is inside you. It's been there all along, smothered by distractions, by lies, by mediocrity, by weakness. And until you wake it, until you act, it will stay dormant. But the second you decide, the second you commit, the second you step into discomfort with aggression and focus, the dormant becomes alive. The weak becomes dangerous. The ordinary becomes elite. That's how you break the spell. That's how you feel alive again. That's how the modern man stops feeling dead inside. You have to stop looking for shortcuts. Stop looking for excuses. Stop looking for excuses. Stop looking for permission. Stop waiting for external validation. Stop scrolling. Stop compromising. Stop compromising. Stop hiding. You want life. Take it. You want power? Earn it. You want freedom? Build it. You want respect? Command it. And the first step, the most critical step, is to stop pretending you are powerless. Stop pretending you are a victim. Stop pretending you are a victim. Stop pretending you are weak. Stop pretending that your circumstances define you. They do not. You define yourselves. You define your life. You define your potential. You define what you will become. And the reality is harsh. If you don't act, if you don't rise, if you don't dominate, if you don't push, if you don't risk, if you don't bleed, the life you could have had dies slowly, silently, invisibly. That is the curse of comfort. That is the death of modern men. And the irony is, you already know it. You feel it gnawing inside, the hollow frustration, the subtle dissatisfaction, the quiet anger. You know you are capable of more. You know that you have more to give. You know that life should be exhilarating, challenging, dangerous, rewarding, and you've been denying it because it's easier to scroll, to complain, to distract yourself, to hide under mediocrity. But that changes today. Right now, this second. The man inside you is screaming to rise. The fire inside you is begging to be unleashed. The potential inside you is demanding to be realized. And if you ignore it again, it won't forgive you. It will grow angrier. It will fester. It will haunt you every morning you wake up, every night you lie in bed, every moment you scroll. And the shame, the frustration, the emptiness, it will compound until one day you look back and see a life wasted. Not because the world was unfair, but because you chose to stay asleep. You see, the top men, the elite men, the dangerous men, they don't wait for opportunity. They create it. They don't wait for guidance. They lead. They don't wait for validation. They build it themselves. And the same rules apply to you. The same opportunity is in your hands. The same warrior is inside you. The same fire is yours to ignite. But only if you finally decide to act. Only if you embrace pain, embrace struggle, embrace risk, embrace pressure, embrace responsibility, embrace the war that life is. And that's where most men fail. Not because they aren't capable, not because they aren't strong, not because they aren't strong, not because they aren't smart. They fail because they are soft. Soft from comfort, soft from distraction, soft from approval seeking, soft from fear, and that soft from delay, and that softening kills the soul. That hollow feeling inside you is the evidence. That's the proof. That's the warning. And the first thing you have to do is stop lying to yourself. Stop telling yourself it's fine to be passive. Stop telling yourself it's okay to wait. Stop telling yourself that small incremental comfort is enough. It's not. It's a lie. It's poison. And the antidote is brutal honesty, ruthless self-discipline, and relentless action. You have to wake up and admit, I am soft, I have been weak, I have wasted my potential, I have betrayed myself. And then after that admission, after that contestation, after that confrontation with reality, you fight. You fight every day. You fight every second. You fight with your body, your mind, your focus, your energy. You fight until weakness is gone, until excuses are meaningless, until distraction has no power over you, until the warrior inside you stands fully alive, fully alert, fully dominant. That fight is not optional. That fight is necessary. That fight is survival. That fight is freedom. And the result is not just life. The result is power. The result is respect. The result is dominance. The result is feeling alive, raw, dangerous, unstoppable. That's what you were born for. That's what men were born for. And that's what modern men have forgotten. That's why they feel dead inside. But you don't have to forget. You can remember. You can reclaim. You can reclaim, you can rise, you can dominate, you can conquer, you can become dangerous again, you can become alive again. And every choice from this second on determines whether you do or don't. Every moment of hesitation, every excuse, every compromise, every distraction is a nail in the coffin of the man you could have been. Every moment of action, every bit of discipline, every embrace of struggle, every conquest is a step toward the man you were born to become. And here's the truth. Nobody tells you the process is lonely. The process is hard. The process is hard. The process is uncomfortable. The process will make people call you arrogant, obsessed, selfish, reckless. They will whisper behind your back. They will doubt you. They will resist you. They will try to drag you back into mediocrity. That is the test. That is the price. That is the fire. But the men who succeed, the men who dominate, the men who feel alive, they don't care. They walk through the fire anyway. They push through resistance anyway. They embrace the discomfort anyway. Because they know without struggle, without pressure, without risk, without challenge, without pain, they remain dead inside no matter what the world gives them. And the modern man cannot survive that way. He was built to thrive, to conquer, to dominate, to lead, to inspire. And until you act, that man is dormant. That fire is waiting. That rage is waiting. That power is waiting. And it will not forgive delay. It will not forgive excuses. It will not forgive compromise. And the only way to awaken it is to act right now. No hesitation, no compromise, no delay. Because every second you waste, your potential dies. Every second you wait, your fire fades. Every second you ignore the warrior inside, the hollow emptiness grows. And one day, if you ignore it again, the life you could have had will vanish. Not because the world took it, but because you never claimed it. That is the brutal reality. That is the stark truth. That is the edge. And now the choice is yours. Will you rise? Will you conquer? Will you dominate? Will you bleed while others sleep? Will you build while others scroll? Will you act while others scroll? Will you act while others hesitate? Will you embrace pain, discipline, struggle, risk, and pressure as allies, not enemies? Will you finally stop feeling dead inside and start feeling alive again? Dangerous, unstoppable, respected, feared, and remembered? Or will you drift one more day, one more week, one more year, one more lifetime in slow, silent decay, scrolling through other men's victories while your own potential rots, unnoticed, unclaimed, dead inside? That choice, that single moment, that one decision is all it takes. One decision to rise, one decision to act, one decision to finally reclaim the fire, the warrior, the power, the man you were born to be. And until that moment, you exist in limbo, half alive, half dead, soft, hollow, forgotten. That is the truth of modern men. That is the trap. That is the slow death. But for the man who finally decides, finally rises, finally acts, the world will bend. The universe will bend. Reality will bend. Because power respects action. Domination respects movement, and the warrior inside will finally be unleashed. Unstoppable, 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 unstoppable. And make no mistake, the man inside you is watching, waiting, demanding, and he will not forgive weakness. He will not forgive hesitation. He will not forgive hesitation. He will not forgive compromise. He will not forgive delay. He will not forgive mediocrity. He will only recognize strength, action, fire, dominance, discipline, and relentless focus. And every second you hesitate, every second you delay, every second you compromise, you hear him screaming from the shadows, the hollowness inside you, the fire dying, the rage building, the potential wasted. And when you finally act, when you finally rise, when you finally dominate, when you finally feel alive, when you finally embrace life as it was meant to be lived, everything changes. Every fear becomes fuel. Every failure becomes sharpening stone. Every pain becomes power. Every struggle becomes strength. Every loss becomes a lesson. Every challenge becomes a conquest. Every day becomes a battlefield. And that is how modern men stop feeling dead inside. That is how they become alive. That is how they come in alive. That is how they dominate. That is how they conquer. That is how they leave a legacy. That is how they reclaim their soul. That is how they become dangerous. That is how they finally feel what it means to be alive. The fire inside you is still burning. The warrior is still alive. The power is still there. The rage is still alive. The power is still there. The rage is still hungry. And it will not wait forever. It demands action. It demands domination. It demands focus. It demands discipline. It demands struggle. It demands fire. It demands blood. And until you answer, until you rise, until you fight, until you conquer, you feel nothing. You feel hollow. You feel dead. You feel the slow decay of mediocrity. But the moment you act, the moment you rise, the moment you dominate, the moment you embrace the warrior inside, everything changes. You are no longer a spectator. You are no longer soft. You are no longer soft. You are no longer dead inside. You are alive, dangerous, powerful, relentless, unstoppable. And the modern world, the world that tried to soften you, the world that tried to lull you to sleep, the world that tried to make you dead inside, it bends. It respects strength. It respects dominance. It respects action. It respects action. It respects the man who refuses to be average, the man who refuses to be soft, the man who refuses to die quietly, the man who refuses to settle. That man is you. If you finally choose to rise, if you finally choose to dominate, if you finally choose to conquer, if you finally choose to conquer, if you finally choose to be alive, the warrior inside is waiting, and he will not forgive delay. He will not forgive weakness. He will not forgive compromise. He will only recognize fire, dominance, discipline, focus, aggression, and relentless action. And once you answer him, once you embrace him, once you rise, you will finally know what it feels like to be alive, really alive, dangerous, powerful, unstoppable. Remember this, mediocrity is slow death. Comfort is prison. Hesitation is betrayal. But action, discipline, focus, fire, and dominance, they are life. They are power. They are the warrior inside. Finally awake. And every man who refuses to act will stay dead inside, hollow, soft, forgotten. Every man who chooses to rise will be alive, dangerous, unstoppable, dominant, feared, and remembered. The fire is in you. The warrior is in you. The potential is in you. The potential is in you. The question is simple. Do you rise or do you stay dead inside? Every second you delay is another nail in the coffin. Every second you act is another spark to ignite the flame. And that flame can't be ignored. That flame can't be stopped. That flame can't be stopped. That flame can't be killed. The man inside is real. The fire inside is real. The power inside is real. And the moment you choose to act, the moment you choose to rise, the moment you choose to dominate, you will finally feel alive. Really alive. Dangerous. Unstoppable. And everything in your life, your power, your freedom, your dominance, your respect, your legacy, it all starts with that one choice. And the time for choice is now. Not tomorrow. Not later. Not someday. Right now. Because hesitation, delay, weakness, comfort, and compromise are your enemies. And dominance, power, fire, action, discipline, struggle, and conquest are your allies. The man inside is watching. The warrior inside is screaming. The fire inside is burning. And it will not forgive delay. It will not forgive delay. It will not forgive compromise. It will only recognize action, power, dominance, discipline, focus, and fire. The world respects the man who acts. The world bends for the man who dominates. The universe rewards the man who rises. And every second you hesitate, every second you delay, every second you compromise, you betray the man inside. You betray your fire. You betray your power. You betray your potential. You betray your destiny. And once you finally act, once you finally rise, once you finally dominate, once you finally embrace the warrior inside, everything changes. You are alive, dangerous, powerful, relentless, unstoppable. And the modern world, the world that tried to kill the fire, the world that tried to make men soft, the world that tried to make men dead inside it, bends it, respects strength. It respects power. It respects action. It respects power. It respects action. It respects dominance. And the man inside you, the warrior, the fire, the potential, will finally recognize that you answered the call. And that is how modern men stop feeling dead inside. That is how they rise. That is how they dominate. That is how they conquer. That is how they conquer. That is how they become unstoppable. That is how they become alive again. That is how they finally reclaim their soul. That is how they become dangerous. That is how they finally feel what it means to be truly alive. And this is your moment right now, right this second. The choice is yours. The warrior inside is waiting. The fire inside is burning. The potential inside is screaming. And it will not forgive delay. It will not forgive weakness. It will not forgive compromise. It will only recognize action, power, focus, discipline, fire, and dominance. The moment you answer, the moment you rise, the moment you dominate, the moment you act, everything changes. You are no longer soft. You're no longer hollow. You are no longer dead inside. You are alive. You are powerful. You are dangerous. You are relentless. You are unstoppable. And that is the truth of modern men. That is why they feel dead inside. And that is how you can stop feeling dead inside. But the fire, the warrior, the power, the dominance, they demand your action. They demand your attention. They demand your attention. They demand your discipline. They demand your focus. They demand your struggle. They demand your conquest. They demand your life. And until you answer, you remain dormant, hollow. And now, the moment of truth has come. The man inside you, the warrior, the fire, the potential, he's no longer asking politely. He's screaming, demanding, forcing you to choose. You can stay soft, hollow, dead inside, watching life pass by while mediocrity whispers that it's enough. Or you can rise. You can take every ounce of discipline you've ignored, every shred of fire you buried, every drop of courage you've postponed, and unleash it all. Dominate your mornings, conquer your fears, master your body, sharpen your mind, and attack every day like a battlefield. Life doesn't hand out victories to the passive. the weak, or the comfortable. Life bows to those who demand it, who take it, who refuse to negotiate with weakness. This is your chance to step into that man, the one capable of everything you've been pretending you could never achieve. This is your chance to live fully, dangerously, unrelentingly. Don't waste it. Don't hesitate. Don't compromise. Stand up, claim your fire, and never look back. From this moment on, you are alive. You are dangerous. You are unstoppable. The world will bend, resistance will break, and everything you desire will bow to the man who refuses to be average. That man is you if you choose him. So choose, rise, dominate, conquer, live.